everyone, P.U.N.K here, and hopefully you're all doing well today whenever it is you're watching this video. I recently sent out a poll on my channel to see what all of you subscribers wanted from me in terms of content, since, as you can probably tell, I haven't posted too much recently outside of like videos, and for many of you subscribers, those aren't the main source of interest for why you subscribed in the first place. So the majority of you said you wanted an updated deck profile or a combo video. Now I chose to go with the combo video over the deck profile mainly because my deck list hasn't changed all that much since my last deck profile video. So if you are curious about the ratios I'm playing today, I'd humbly recommend you reference that previous video on my channel. Just go down to the link below and then find the most recent deck profile, which I believe should be from a month or two ago. Now regarding the combo video though, today, as the title suggests, we will be going over test hands for P.U.N.K. The main reason why is because, as you might have experienced playing the deck, this deck can get some really crazy hands that are very hard to play correctly, and admittedly I won't even be playing them correctly necessarily all the time. So I thought we could work together to sort of learn what the best practices are when executing a certain hand, and different ways by which we can achieve the strongest end boards to counter the current format. My usual disclaimers I want to put out here are that 1, remember that the deck list I'm using today is my own deck list, and so you do not necessarily have to play it just because, remember, I'm not the best player in the world. You might have a better list that suits your playstyle a lot more, whether it be, you know, a pure version like I have here, or a variant like Sprite, Tealer, or whatever else is out there. So take my ratios with a grain of salt, play the deck how you want. Just take some of my advice maybe, but even then you don't have to take it. Secondly, remember that these test hands are on the spot, so I might not necessarily make the optimal play all the time, or I might miss something that some of you viewers catch. So if you do catch something, I definitely recommend going to the comments below, letting me know what I missed or what you think I could have done better, or if there are any alternative lines that I did not talk about that you do believe are as valid as the line I went for. This out of the way, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for putting in the time to watch my videos, even, you know, with these hike shoes that I sometimes go through, and we'll get on with the video. So this is test hand 1, and I'm going to apologize. You've been watching my previous videos, you know that the camera doesn't reach the entire mat, so things are going to look off, and I apologize if you have OCD and that does bother you. Trust me, it bothers me just as much as you do. But I have not gone around to fixing it yet, and I promise I'll try and fix it in the future. So let's draw our first test hand, see what we've got. And with this hand, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's only one line of play really, and that is the E-Telly. Or I'm pretty sure you probably could have seen that, sorry. But given that's the only line of play, we're going to try and go for the most lucrative play as possible. You'll see what I mean shortly. We're going to activate the E-Telly. We're going to summon out a copy of Xiamin. We're then going to activate the field spell, because remember, you need the field spell in field zone so that you can draw cards whenever you pay effects. So we're going to use Xiamin's effect. We're actually going to search out the Ogre Dance here. We're then going to use the effect of Ogre Dance. Oh wait, sorry, that's incorrect. We're going to search Foxy Tune. We're then going to use Foxy Tune after we draw a card from the field spell. Crow, that's great as a disruption. We're going to use Foxy Tune effect now. Send these two to grave. We're going to then summon out the Madam Spider, use Madam Spider effect, grab a copy of Nashiwari Surprise here. That's going to let us trigger the field spell, once more. We're going to draw another card. We get ourselves another copy of Gamma. If you make Lambda, it's not entirely useless, though I will not be making Lambda, I believe, in this combo line. We're going to use the field spell second effect, banish the Foxy Tune from grave, summon the Deer Note out, and then we're going to synchro summon. Notice how I haven't talked to you about how to play around certain hand traps. As I had said, there aren't really too many ways you can play around hand traps right now. I guess if you wanted to, you could just hold the Foxy Tune and say summon a Deer Note, or just summon a Deer Note out directly, so that you have another Deer Note in hand to say summon off the field spell by banishing the Foxy Tune. But I'm just going for the most lucrative play, the play that will give you the most value, since you only have one line of play, and if it resolves, you'll get the most value out of it. So from here, I think I'll actually go for the Chaos Ruler. I guess alternatively you could, or I guess, no, we want to make that live. Right? This is the correct play. You're going to use the Dragon Drive effect. I'm going to actually search Wagon here. Main reason why is because with the Wagon, you can oops, that's not Wagon. You can normal summon the Wagon. Since we haven't normal summoned yet, you can grab a copy of the field spell. Remember, the special summon effect is not hard once returned, so you could use it as an extender piece. We won't be using it as an extender piece here, but we're going to go these two. I'm sorry. The Deer Note's going to activate, summon back the Z-Min, my apologies, and the Z-Min's going to give the Wagon 600 attack. And so the Z-Min will chain block the Dragon Drive and the Deer Note. You can make this chain link 3, make this chain link 2, that chain link 1. So the Z-Min would give Dragon Drive or Madam Spider 600, the Deer Note would summon back, and the Dragon Drive would search your Wagon, which we're now normal summoning, to get the field spell. Sorry, I completely forgot in the moment, because my brain's like going on right now about what I can do. So from this point in time, what you can then do is you can then go these two, actually, instead, sorry. I'm going to make a Mason Dragon, and I'm going to make it now because if for some reason they decide to stop the Mason Dragon here rather than anything else in our combo, the Wagon does draw you a card if this is targeted. So it's better to make this here than after Hulk, because if we make Hulk, we're going to have to use the Wagon at some point to make either the Amazing Dragon or the Hulk. So when we do this, we can then summon back the Dragon Drive now or later, synchro these two into our copy of Halka-Fibrax. Halka-Fibrax will then summon from deck a level 2 tuner. In this case, I will go for Plague Spreader, and then we will go Plague Spreader plus the Dragon Drive into our copy of Baron de Fleur, which I now have, aka borrowed from my friend, thanks to my friend Jordan for giving it to me. And then we're going to set our cards and pass turn. And so this is a pretty decent end board. You of course have your Raigeki Break, a Cosmic Cyclone to deal with, say, the Tirla meant field spell, and then Crow to stop a variety of decks in this format. Baron's up, and you can draw into more cards off of Halka-Fibrax when you Formless Synchron. Use Formless Synchron off of its Synchro Summon. So, not terrible. You might be asking, why didn't you go for Chaos Ruler? We didn't have a guaranteed Darkened Grave. I didn't want to rely on the... I didn't want to rely on sort of hitting it off of the mills, whereas the Dragon Drive gives you something guaranteed in the form of another body, which we of course did use to make this board. So this concludes test hand 1, and I'll get on with test hand 2. Okay, so test hand 2, let's hope this hand has a little bit more diversity in it so that we can talk a little bit more about how you can play around certain hand traps, alternative lines of play. So we're going to draw our 5-card hand, and it seems like there is still only one line of play, which again, it happens. You know, we're playing, what is it, 12 hand traps, so you won't always draw multiple P.U.N.K names to do a ton of extenders off. This does make it easier for me, I guess, as a presenter. We're going to activate the field spell here, normal summon the Z-Min, use the Z-Min effect. We're going to grab a Foxy Tune. No reason to grab anything else here, because we're not playing Almirage to get a name engraved to summon off the field spell, and also we already use our normal summon, so grabbing a level 3 and or grabbing Deer Note doesn't make too much sense here. This is going to trigger the field spell. Let me cut the deck. draw into Plague Spreader Zombie. That's not terrible actually, because we can discard it off of the Foxy Tune to summon from deck a copy of Deer Note. You could make the argument, why don't you go for Shirakusai here, especially since they might have chosen to Ash the Foxy Tune or Gamma the Xiamin early on. You'll see what I mean, or why I'm not going for Shirakusai soon. We're going to synchro these two. I'm actually going to go for Dragon Drive. I know I've put an emphasis on Chaos Roller in the past, but getting Dragon Drive engraved early on can be crucial down the line, since being a recurable body that it is, Dragon Drive can really help you grind out certain games and give you extra bodies. So furthermore, it does give you a guaranteed body now. I'm not trying to go for the Calamities line this time. If you want to go for the Calamities line, oh yeah, the reason I'm not going for the Calamities line either is because we don't have a guaranteed Dark Engrave. I know you could banish a Plague Spreader, but I'd prefer to keep it like that there. So we're going for Dragon Drive instead. Dragon Drive will be Chainlink 1, Deer Note Chainlink 2, target the Xiamin, and then Chainlink 3 will be the Xiamin to get Dragon Drive 600 attack, which blocks, of course, any Ash effects. Doesn't block Imperm or DD Crow, but it happens. So Dragon Drive is going to search a copy of Madame, or in this case, Ogre Dance. Reason why is down the line, if you do decide to make Chaos Roller, this keeps a Dark Engrave for you to banish. Since it doesn't, basically, your opponent would have drolled you to this point. They had roll. If they don't have troll, if you're going to search the Madame Spider or any level 3 name, or Deer Note for that matter, just search the Ogre Dance if you don't have it engraved already, so you can have it for the future, if need be. So we'll search Ogre Dance. That's going to trigger the field spell to draw 1 card. Hopefully we don't hit the Madame Spider. We hit the Shirakusai, that's fine. We're going to discard the Ogre Dance. We're going to search a copy of Madame Spider here. It's on top of the deck. This hand's going to look very similar to last hand, where we're going to activate the field spell. We're going to banish, say, the Deer Note's probably fine here. I want to keep a Light and Dark Engrave. Summon the Madame Spider from hand. Use the Madame Spider ability to grab a copy of, where is it? Our favorite Reiki Break. We can then summon the Wielder. I know not all of you might be playing Wielder, though since I came up in this situation to give us that extra body to make that same board as before. Here it doesn't matter we make Amazing Dragon before or after Hulk, so I'm going to make the Hulk now. Use Hulk's effect to summon out a Gamma. Go these two into Amazing Dragon. Amazing Dragon effect will summon back the Dragon Drive. You'll make the Baron again. And then you will set your trap card and pass turn. I believe there were definitely different ways you could have done this, so that you could go into, say, Calamities, or get an additional sort of level 10 on the board. Maybe I'm missing it. You'll have to let me know in the comments below. But for now, this isn't completely terrible per se. I know I'm supposed to make it seem positive because I am the one presenting it, but honestly, it's not terrible in that you have a negate, you have Hulk to draw 1, which can draw into a hand trap, or Need Tally for that matter, and you have the Ash to stop certain plays. So not terrible. This is a pretty average board for Punk. I guess the best possible board would be Calamities plus Baron plus Trap potentially, or let's say Shenging plus Baron, but that's that. Test hand number 2. We'll get on with test hand number 3. So test hand number 3, let's see if we can again hit a more diverse hand that gives us more lines of play than one particular line of play. No words need to be said about that hand. We're going to go to test hand number 4. Okay, this hand is interesting because you have a lot of names that you can use, and there's different ways you can do this. For example, what I mean, what you could do, you can go directly for Zeomin, go for your normal Deer Note plays, or you can be a little bit greedy here, use Ogre Dance, search Wagon, search the field spell, and then start doing stuff from there. I'm going to do this a little unorthodox just so that you can see different ways to play this deck. I'm going to use Ogre Dance now, discard itself, search the Wagon. We're then going to normal summon Wagon, use its effect, grab a copy of the field spell, activate the field spell. So remember you lost 600. We're going to use Deer Note effect here instead. I'm not actually going to summon the Zeomin yet. Summon out the Deer Note, go these two into Dragon Drive. And so, again, wait, this one's only from, oh, no, yeah. Zeomin will trigger, or sorry, it won't. Deer Note will trigger to summon back the Zeomin, and Dragon Drive will trigger to search a level 3 tuner. So we're going to search Madam Spider here, and then we're going to draw a card off of the field spell. I just like prioritizing the field spell if possible. I know it might be greedy in certain cases, because with that hand, you could have just gone straight for Dragon Drive by getting Foxy Tune. That honestly puts you out of the way of most hand traps, or in the sense that if you get hand trap, you have more gas, because you would have, say, the Deer Note in hand and or something else to follow up, whereas here we don't have as much options if any of these get hit, but let's assume we don't, and so this resolves. Zeomin's going to activate. We're going to search a copy of Foxy Tune, and that's going to trigger the field spell once more. Cosmic Cyclone, not terrible, not too shabby. We're then going to use the, oh, camera's a little bit off. We're going to use the field spell, banish, in this case, let's banish the, I'll banish the Wagon here. We're going to summon the Madam Spider, use Madam Spider's effect, grab the trap card. We're then going to synchro these two off into Hulk, use Hulk's effect, summon from deck. I'm actually going to summon a level 3 tuner again. Let's do the Sharakusai. You could leave the board like this if you wanted to, because you have, of course, all of these in terms of disruption. And then you can use this quick synchro into Amazing Dragon, or you could go into Amazing Dragon now, summon back Dragon Drive. I'll visualize it for you. So yeah, basically, you can keep the board like this, go into Amazing Dragon like this, or Hulk into Formula Synchron and Synchron with the Dragon Drive into Baron or Shangying. Alternatively, during your turn, before you end your turn, you could go into the Amazing Dragon, summon back to Dragon Drive. That keeps National Warrior Surprise alive, and then you can use Hulk effect, banish itself, summon out the Formula Synchron, and then quick sync these two into the Baron that you play. I guess alternatively what you could do is, if you don't want to use it, or you don't want to do that, you could always Foxy Tune out first, get that additional body on board, and make the same board as we have been making for the past 2 test hands. But that isn't necessary, as this keeps maximum cards in hand and follow up for next turn. Yeah, so if I wanted to do this differently though, because this is sort of, I guess this is a bonus feature now, but let's say we go back to the start, because there are a variety of ways we can do this actually. So if we don't go for that particular line of play that I did, alternatively what you can do is you can actually go Zeomin, search the copy of Foxy Tune, use Foxy Tune's effect. Honestly, I'd probably deck clear first. Ogre Dance, summon a copy, or search a copy of the Sharakusai. Basically just a name I don't need, because I want to keep these 2 cards in hand. Use the Foxy Tune effect. Or I guess if you want to be safe, you probably discard one of these, because if you discard one of these, then this gives you more options to extend through hand traps. But I'm going to assume my opponent doesn't have too many. So you can use Foxy Tune here. You can go directly for the deer note, or you can just go directly for the wagon. And the wagon will let you do basically the same thing you did there, so I won't go through it. Alternatively, what you could do is you could summon a deer note out by discarding the Shirakusai, go Foxy Tune with one of these other cards, summon out the wagon. This still sort of gets you into the same line of play. I think the main reason why I want to show off you this is because if you do end up going one of these lines that uses the Foxy Tune, you'll then have a guaranteed light and dark engraved to summon Chaos Ruler with, so that you can make calamities, for example. So we're here. We're going to use the wagon to search a copy of the field spell. Activate the field spell, activate the field spell's effect, banish the Shirakusai, summon Deer Note, go these two into Chaos Ruler now. Chaos Ruler with Mill, Chainlink 1, Deer Note Chainlink 2, Xiamin Chainlink 3, target wagon. Deer Note will summon back the Xiamin. Chaos Ruler will mill 5. And we will hit this light target here. From here, you can then go into your copy of Hauck of Fibrax. Hauck would summon out your Plague Spreader. You could then go these two into your copy of Baron, wherever I put it. And then you can summon back the Chaos Ruler by banishing your 2 light and dark. Summon the Plague Spreader by putting, say, the Foxy Tune back on deck, or top of deck. Then, during your opponent's turn, you can go Hauck, summon the Formless Synchron. And then you can go these 4 into Calamities and draw. You would have drawn a card, and that would be that. So, basically, that's what I meant earlier at the start of the test hand that I was just doing, where there are different lines of play you can do here. I think the first line of play where you activate the field spell very early on and you activate Dragon Drive to trigger this multiple times, that was a lot better because you replenish your hand, and so that gives you more, not only interruptions in certain situations, but also more follow-up. This doesn't give you as much follow-up, though it does lock your opponent out, and if that's enough to stop your opponent, like if they aren't setting 5 cards to disrupt you, then you can go for a game the following turn, since you would have these 2 in hand, you would draw for turn. Let's say you already used the Ash. This is perfectly fine to continue your OTK plays. So this last combo, at least, fortunately does speak to the versatility of P.U.N.K as not only as an engine, but as an archetype. So I hope you keep that in mind as you continue playing your versions of the deck. So I guess that was sort of like a test hand and a half. Hopefully you all enjoyed that part, but for now we'll get to the conclusion of the video. So to conclude off the video, I don't have too much to say. I think the 2 things I mainly want to say are that 1, these test hands should show you the versatility of P.U.N.K. I know a lot of the plays look the same, but there are different ways you can do it. Also, you can see that the engine is very lucrative in certain manners. If you have the field spell up, you can draw a ton of cards that can give you insane advantage over your opponent, while still being able to make things like Baron, Calamities, Chengying, whatever it be. But outside of this, you can also play this deck in such a variety of ways that these test hands might not suffice for the greater scheme of things. For example, Tear Sprite can definitely be played. That definitely has a variety of combos that this particular video doesn't tackle very well, so you'd have to branch out to get those. But essentially, P.U.N.K as an archetype, as an engine, it's great. I love it. Hopefully some of you love it too, and you definitely have to practice with it quite a bit so that you can understand how to play it to the best of its capabilities. The second thing I want to say is my usual ending comment, and that is, outside of the disclaimers I mentioned at the start of the video, basically the fact that this deck list isn't perfect, also the fact that my test hands might not have been perfect, and in which case you can voice your concerns in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me if you have been a long-term subscriber, and or if you were able to bear through a 20-minute video across, or I guess among all of these other videos that are very shorter nowadays. I just like to be detailed with my descriptions. Sometimes too detailed, so you need to let me know sometimes if I'm going too much. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you all around sometime. Hopefully the ban list will come out soon, where I can make an updated deck profile that'll be catered towards that, and some additional videos surrounded around P.U.N.K, because I know some of you are potentially a little bit off-put by the Lego videos, which I have randomly started putting on my channel. As I explained before, this channel is more creative outlet for myself rather than something that I'm trying to push into the popular limelight. So yeah, regardless, thank you for watching, and hopefully you have a good rest of your day. I will cue the outro.